everyone.
Hello.
I have opinions.
I have opinions.
And you have opinions.
You have opinions?
And sometimes those opinions are different.
They are. Indeed they are.
And they lead you to DNF books that other people love. And that's the theme of this January wrap-up. I'm Jessica.
I'm Christeena.
And you're watching
Game of Tomes.
So the first book I finished was The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it for what it was. It was very encouraging and motivational. It made you feel good. I liked the end. The end was weird.
Yeah, it was.
But I liked it. It was a book that our friend from book club, Erin, gave to us so that we could annotate it. Christeena went first and read it last month. The storytelling was very simplistic, which made it feel kind of storytelling-ish. I think I'm going to give it a 3.5. Just talking about, I don't know. I mean, I like it, but I don't know if it's something that's going to stick with me for a long time.
Right.
But I did like it. This boy is Spanish. It was actually written, I guess, in Portuguese, because he was from, was it Brazil? Paulo Coelho, sorry.
You say it like that every time you say his name is in that accent.
He's from Spain.
Oh, okay.
No, he's not. Oh, okay. Just go on and everything. Anyways.
He's from Portugal?
Paulo is, nope.
Oh. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now.
From Brazil.
Okay.
And I think that means that he speaks Portuguese. So that the book was probably written in Portuguese. Wow, we should look at this.
And translated?
Yeah, translated from Portuguese.
Sounds legit.
But the book is set in Spain. He makes I was gonna say a pilgrimage, but he travels to Egypt to see the pyramids and fulfill his destiny after meeting a magical man.
Middle school or high school?
Yeah.
I would have really enjoyed this.
Cool.
I just feel like it was introduced to me too late.
Oh. Yeah, no, I liked it though, and I especially liked the whole him being with the merchant, because he was just so motivated to just make things better and better, and each little thing that he did for the merchant, it would help him prosper.
Right.
And the guy was just content to sit there and let his glassware, get dusty.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that whole message.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's move on.
Yeah. The first book that I finished in January was A River in Darkness, One Man's Escape from North Korea by Masashi Ishikawa. And I'm probably butchering that. Obviously, it's One Man's Escape from North Korea.
No.
He was actually born in Japan. His mother is Japanese, his father is Korean. And when he was 13, it was when the Korean War ended, and there was this big push to get Koreans back to North Korea. Japan government came along and was like, it's a paradise. It's so prosperous over there. And so his family went, and it was a nightmare. I gave this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I also really liked that he touched on the politics at the time of like who was, I wanted to say director. It's not director. What am I trying to think of?
Oh, dictator.
Yes, dictator. The dictatorship switches throughout the book, and he touches on that. So not knowing anything about North Korea, I feel like he touched on it enough where I could understand it, but he didn't go in depth on that, so I could really appreciate it. There's some very sensitive parts in there as far as starvation, specifically with children, and medical situations with babies being born and things like that. So I mean, it is a hard read, but I've wanted to explore that kind of North Korea, people's real life experiences living there, and I appreciated it. I would suggest it. Just be aware that like it's kind of brutal to get through.
Let's talk about Outlander. I am so sorry if you love this book, but we did not. The bones were there.
Yeah.
The whole her going back in time and fall in love with this sexy Scotsman.
Yeah.
Her trying to navigate that world and be brave and street smart.
Yeah.
That's cool. But like, that's why I like the TV show.
Yeah.
Okay, so after we picked this up, I started the TV show, and dude, it is so awesome. I love the TV show. It is really good,
yeah.
The book is not for us. We didn't like the way it was written.
We DNF'd it.
Oh, yeah.
We still have our tabs.
I got to there.
I got to there in my short copy.
That's like we
chapter
tried really
23. Look at that. We were like basically halfway through.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like we gave it a fair amount.
I do too.
Yeah.
We were both at the same time. We're just like.
We did a huge buddy read. Half of us ended up DNFing it.
Me and you and Julie from Pages and Pens DNF'd it. The people who were left were Krista from Books and Jams,
Samantha from Leanne's Lit, who has read it before. Nicole from Who Picked This Book, who has also read it before.
Yeah.
And then Jen, Nicole's co-host. I want to say she's seen the TV show, but I don't think she read it before.
I think so. That's right.
I agree. The bones were there.
Right.
It was there, and I wanted to get into it.
Yeah.
But I just feel like there were details that were missing.
Yeah.
Or there was too much of them.
Yeah.
And it just, if we could like mesh it.
Yeah.
It's told from Claire's point of view, the main character, first person point of view, but a lot of times it didn't feel first person to me.
Right, because we never felt like we got into her head enough.
Yeah.
At one point, she's like running through the hallways to get away from some men who are like wanting to get to her. When they get told to go away by someone of authority, she doesn't seem upset, and she just goes to bed, and she's like not afraid for her life, and we don't get inside her head. It's weird.
But also the guy who told her to go to send the other guys away was like, well, you have to pay the price, and kind of like sexually assaulted her a little bit.
Yeah.
And
put his tongue down her throat.
It was literally at one point where this guy tackled her, and she literally said, "Oh, not again." And I feel like you would be more offended or like more uncomfortable with the situation happening multiple times.
Yeah.
But I mean, it had the bones.
You're right. It could have been great.
It could have been great. It just wasn't for us.
No. And that's why, I mean, the TV show takes this story and just does it so much better.
I agree.
That's just how I'm gonna continue on with this story. Yeah. I've watched the whole first season.
I'm almost done with the first season. I think I have like 3 episodes left. Yeah, so Outlander.
Yeah.
DNF'd it.
Bummer.
So, our book club in real life, we do graphic novels. And
alongside the regular novel.
Yes. And this month, by that I mean January, was Mouse.
Yeah.
And I got the complete version on Amazon.
Parts 1 and 2.
So, yes. And so I just went ahead and read both.
I'm glad you did.
I am too.
Because...
And I really like the...
In Pages, yeah. Art Spiegelman, who wrote and drew this story, he interviewed his father, who was a survivor of the Holocaust and went to Auschwitz. Yeah, it was so good, and it made me cry. And
yeah, I gave it 4.5 stars.
I gave it 5 stars.
I really, really enjoyed this, and I really liked. I didn't think I would be able to really feel the full effect or emotions of it with it being the mouse and cat version, but I actually really enjoyed kind of like the simplicity of it.
Yeah.
And I like that it kind of jumped between him talking to his father about it and then him drawing his father going through it. You know what I mean? We also really appreciated the way that he wrote down how his father spoke. Like, you could tell he didn't correct his English or anything.
Yeah, I felt like I could hear his accent as I was reading it, and I really enjoyed that.
I did too.
He was a Polish Jew, and Auschwitz is in Poland, which I did not know, actually, before reading this.
I didn't either. I thought that was really interesting.
It was amazing. I'm so glad that I read it.
Highly recommend.
So I've already raved about this in our book recs video, our book recommendations tag, because I just thought it was amazing and want everyone to read it. And that is World Without End by Ken Follett, the second in the Kingsbridge series. The first of which is Pillars of the Earth, which takes place 200 years before this one. It follows the descendants of Pillars of the Earth, and at first I felt like things were very similar to Pillars, like almost too similar to the point of where I was like, I've heard this before.
Right.
But like in the other book, and yeah, it's really good, but like, is he manipulating me into reading this? Like, I've already heard the story. But actually, I felt like as things moved on, it felt very much like its own thing. He writes characters so well, and each character is their own person, and I feel like after reading these books, like I just know them and they're my characters. And I love that feeling so much when just like characters feel like they're yours because you know them so well. And that's the thing that he does so great. You could totally read this without reading Pillars, but Pillars is a great book too. But I think I like this book even better. I gave Pillars a 4.5 and I gave this one a 5. It takes place in the 1300s during the plague, and our heroine wants to be a doctor in a time when women aren't supposed to be doctors, but at the same time the monks are the ones that are in charge of healthcare, and they're wanting to let out the humors through bloodletting, go outside and turn around 3 times under a full moon and pray, and the things weren't working.
Right.
And she's wanting everyone to be clean, and they're like, you don't have to be clean. Like,
so she's wanting to take more like the medical approach.
She's like, people who are near the sick also get sick, so we should just keep people separated. And that's like radical. Like, you get to meet some great female characters right off the bat, and I really like that. Some cool female friendships, some great romance that will rip your heart out and want to punch people because of the injustice of it all. So, okay, let's move on.
Okay.
So next we finish From Here to Eternity by Caitlin Doty. We listened to her narrate it on Audible, and she's lovely. I think we both gave it 4 stars.
Yes, I did. So this book is just about her traveling the world to observe other death rituals in other countries and cultures.
I learned a lot.
I did too, and it was really interesting, and like, I laughed a lot.
She's a funny chick.
I will say I really loved her first book, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, more, but that one had
Me too.
a lot more of a personal flair to it.
Yeah, it was her story.
And this one was more so just...
nonfiction.
Right, yeah, and it was her just stating, the rituals in other cultures and things, and it was really interesting. It's
With
really...
a little humor thrown in every now and again.
Yeah. And I mean, she does touch on some personal stuff, but, not as much as her first one. But...
Right. Yeah, she's definitely present in the story.
Oh, yeah.
Which I appreciated.
Yeah, she's
because
not...
she actually went to these places.
Yeah, it's not exactly like a clinical view on it or anything like that. Also, she's a mortician. She has a YouTube channel called Ask a Mortician, and you guys should totally check it out. You can ask her questions, and she is very open about death and anything that has to do with death at all.
She's an educator.
Yes.
I like that about her.
Yeah. She has her own funeral home in LA.
Yeah. Definitely, if you haven't read any Doty, pick up Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, because that's our favorite.
Phenomenal.
So good. That was 5 stars for us.
Absolutely.
Okay. This is next.
Okay. Don't hate us.
Okay, no.
I finished it.
Yeah, I did not finish it.
No.
The first chapter was so cool, and like, I was like, this book is gonna be fantastic.
Yeah.
But then it didn't go in... It wasn't written like that in the rest of the book. The plot was very, very fast to begin with. So fast that I felt like it was at the expense of character.
Yeah, I would agree.
When Mr. Pierce Brown decides to start telling more in a story that's like daily, I just felt like that wasn't the interesting part.
That wasn't the time
to start slowing down. And it just kept going in this Hunger Gamesian story that I felt like
it was kind of repetitive.
And I was done at that point, because the only reason I was still reading was because plot and also like some cool world stuff.
Yeah.
But then the whole, what do you call it?
School battle, school war, house war?
House war, sure. Yeah, that part I was just like, I don't care. And so I stopped.
I gave it 3 stars.
Yeah.
Mostly because of the last, 80 pages, honestly. Because I agree. I felt like the first chapter, I was like, boom, yes.
Right.
This is going to live up to all this hype we've heard about.
Yeah.
About this book on BookTube.
Yeah.
From everyone.
Yes.
And
even past that a little bit, like when he's in his own home and stuff, I thought that was interesting. And the whole Laurel thing, I was like, I know they're not gonna...
Oh, that, yeah. It felt like things were being explained not at all and very quickly.
Yes.
And I just felt like for a world that has a color cast system that I thought was really interesting.
So rich with its own,
lingo. I wish we would have gotten a little bit more in depth on that, because he was throwing out colors
and names
of things and people, and I was just not...
It was a little scattered.
Yeah, it was just so much that I couldn't really keep up with it, and I still feel like I didn't fully understand it. And then at the point where you got to the day-to-day life, I felt like it was slow and it was kind of repetitive, this happened, and this happened, and this happened, then this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And I agree, it was very Hunger Gamesy, and I was just like, bored with it.
Yeah.
I wanted to move on to like the main storyline
Right.
and get past this.
But that turned out to be the main storyline.
It did, and we didn't expect that. And I mean,
yeah.
But the last 80 pages, I felt like it really started to differ from the previous sections,
which is about when I left.
Yeah, it was.
You were like, everything picked up when you left, and I was like, oh well.
It did, but it's. Okay, I didn't fully connect with any of the characters because I didn't feel like I knew them.
Yeah, that's the thing that we really like is character.
Yeah.
Character development. And like a book can be low on plot, but high on character development and world building, and we could still like it a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. It just felt like here's the background, and then here's a really long drawn out mini story within the story.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't interested in it. I don't really care to continue or not. Sorry, y'all.
I think I'm gonna donate my copy.
Sorry, y'all. I might keep,
I really wanted to like it,
know.
and I was so disappointed in myself because I didn't like it, which is dumb.
No, yeah, don't feel like that.
Nimona by Noelle Stevenson, who also drew it, the pictures. Yes, indeed. Full of humor and heart, says Rainbow Rowell, who I've never read a book by.
Yeah, Liar? We read Carry On.
Oh.
We listened to it.
I stand corrected.
Hi.
It was different and cool.
It was.
It was sci-fi mixed with fantasy.
Yeah.
That's weird. It was like knights,
Shapeshifters and like an institution.
dragons, but at the same time like high tech and science-y.
It was definitely like a classic good versus evil, but in an unexpected way.
There was a twist to it.
Yeah.
Also some gay romance.
Yeah, which I was like, they kept dropping hints, and I kept thinking, meh?
Right.
And then towards the end, I was like, yeah, okay, yeah.
I really like the main character.
Yeah.
She's cool. Nimona.
I like her haircut. She's just so, she's different. She's not your classic girl. Her haircut, she's not like super skinny.
No.
She's not
like
lovey-dovey or it was really good, and there was some surprises in there.
Yes.
And the ending to me was a surprise as well.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a little bit open-ended, and I thought, oh, there's going to be another one, but you said no.
I Googled it, and I couldn't find her saying that she was going to make a second book anywhere.
Right.
But I did see Fox Animations is making it into a movie.
Oh.
Like years from now, but just that nobody's been casted or anything like that yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Google it. I gave it 4 stars.
Me too. Yeah. I liked it a lot.
And I would like to say for a graphic novel, I thought it was actually a pretty decent, thick, big storyline graphic novel.
Yeah. It was a page turner.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. So I read Saga Volume 1 through 8. Oh my gosh. I love it so much. Like, I could cry right now thinking about how much I love it.
By the way, if you ever read a book near Jessica while she's reading Saga, it's the worst.
I'm so sorry.
The worst. We're sitting there reading, and she's reading one of the sagas that I haven't read yet, and she goes, ah! oh, like, oh my gosh, it's the worst.
I really did. Like,
you were so into it, and I wanted to be like, what? Tell me.
And I wanted to be Christeena, look at this, please.
Yeah.
But you're like, don't show me.
No, I didn't want you to.
Yeah, no, it's good that I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you to read these.
I'm going to start them this weekend.
They are shocking.
Yeah.
And vulgar.
Yeah.
And adventure-tastic. And violent. Mm-hmm. But so good.
I'm nodding like, yeah, but I've only read the first one, for the record.
I don't, it spans over a decade.
Oh, cool.
1 through 8 does. The story is great. The characters are great. The art is great.
Good.
5 stars to every single one of them.
Ooh. So, like, safe to say, favorite graphic novel series of all time.
Yeah.
Good.
And I will be getting all of them that come out forever.
I want you to know when I read these, I'm probably going to Vox you and go, oh! Ah!
Okay. I'm passing the baton.
I'm gonna take care of them so well.
Yes, they're my babies.
You have babies.
They're my third baby.
They're your paper babies. Okay, all right, last book. Jessica
Yep.
checked out Norman Rockwell, Behind the Camera
Indeed.
by Ron Schick.
It was good. We both read it. I read it and then I gave it to her because I was like, this was fun.
And I'm not into like art or photography.
Yeah.
And she's like, you want to read it? And I was like,
All right.
So I kept it until the day it was due.
Yeah.
And then Jessica called it in to check it out again. And so I actually read it. And I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
4 stars is what I rated it.
Really cool.
Because it's not like a all-time favorite
Well, sure. Yeah.
kind of thing.
Right.
But I mean, for what it was actually really interesting.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot. And I don't know anything about like Rockwell or
I didn't either.
anything at all.
Just I've seen some of his art before, like on calendars and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it turns out he used photography to,
Stage and then kind of trace.
well, yeah, he would use a projector to take that image and compile the images all together and then do his own composite and then paint that. And he was kind of ashamed of his process and also a little bit ridiculed by other illustrators that were his peers, saying that he was like cheating. But his art got better. He just got better. I mean, he was already amazing. He reached iconic status when I think he
Started relying on photography. And it's not just that. He never actually took the pictures himself.
Right.
But he would stage everyone.
Yeah.
Tell them shoot, and he was like really into it to get the right emotions and everything. But then he would take other ones and layer them on top and get the right poses, or like, I'm gonna take the face from this photo, but the pose from this one, or the hand from that one. And it was actually like, that's hard work, guys. That sounds like it takes freaking forever.
Because it's not like he had Photoshop.
No. It was literally a projector, like, okay, this one, psh, okay, this one. And he would do like a charcoal outline, and then he would do the details, and then he would paint it, and it's just like so much work.
I thought it was fantastic, and I thought it was inspiring and made me want to go out there and take some pictures. And
It reminded me of you a lot, because you tell me like exact minute details of my face or like my pose, or like to get a genuine laugh or something, you'll do, you know, you are a very like in it photographer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's what I like about you.
Thanks.
Like, you took pictures of me and stood over me, and you're like, just ignore my crotch. So I looked at it.
Okay, so that's what we read in January. We just started The Silmarillion today by J.R.R. Tolkien with Susan from the restricted section.
Susan.
I'm really enjoying it so far.
Enjoyed it more
I
than
felt
I
like I was
expected
reading
to.
a tome, and I was imagining being Sam Tarley in the giant tome in front of me, and all I needed was candles.
What is that place called? The Maesters.
Yeah.
That's not what the place is called,
No,
but you know.
what is it called? The Old Town. The place is called... Oops.
Oh, it's gonna bug me now. Because if you put this in there, everybody's gonna comment and be like, it's called the Placey Place?
It's called the Placey Place.
No, don't look it up! What is
Why?
it?
Oh.
Oh, it's a one word. Oh, it's not Citadel. Is it the Citadel?
The Citadel.
Is it really?
Yes.
Yay me!
We'll also be reading A Wrinkle in Time by L'Engle. Madeline L'Engle. Sorry. But yep, and
Red Sister by Mark Lawrence.
is our book club book.
And also, like, the main character's name is Nona, and that's my mom's name, so I voted
That's so
for it.
cool.
I voted for it, and it won. I'm gonna let Mom borrow it, because I sent it to her when it was suggested.
Yeah.
And she was like, what? That's my name! That actually sounds really good!
Yeah.
And I don't think I told her it got picked yet. And that's kind of also why I bought the physical copy, just so I could
Also, the girl in the front kind of looks like you.
Thank you.
She's like she looks like an Arya kind of character.
Yeah, that's what we were saying at book club.
Oh my gosh, that's you.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about
I am
that.
too. I'm going to be listening to it.
First book of the Ancestor. So, oh no, I'm bummed out. That's going to be a series.
That's okay.
And I'm going to have to wait for.
Well, yeah.
Maybe I won't like it and won't want to continue.
What's wrong with
No,
you?
I'm just kidding. I bought the book hardback. Like, I hope I like it.
When you play the game of tomes,
You read or you die.
come be our friends. Social media links in the description below.
And we hope you're reading a great book.
Bye. Simplistic storytelling. Help me. God, grief.
Sorry. Help me!
Oh God.
I can't keep anything secret.
No,
I
you
told you
can't.
the other day I ordered your birthday present, but I haven't told you what it is, and I'm not gonna.
Good job. What is it?
Nothing.
Just kidding.
I was thinking about picking up another book. I'm gonna stop this.
Yeah, Saga.
Lost, what felt like it all in a game. Every man I've measured out to hurt me before I